Good evening, fellow Grumps. How's everyone doing? I'm happy to be back with this new channel and doing something with old friends. So let's get started. We're supposed to be talking about how our collecting habits have changed and a few other things. So, my collecting habits, if possible, they're even more obsessive than they were when we had the last channel. So, I think I would describe my collecting life right now as kind of controlled chaos, okay? Which means that I'm still buying way too much stuff, but I don't seem to be, well, gee, I don't know. How do you answer a question like that? I buy a lot of stuff. I uh, I don't I don't do criterions as much as I was doing a couple of years ago. I think that my personal criterion collection is pretty much finished. I still pick up things occasionally and I upgrade a few things now and then, but now I concentrate more on Kino Lorber. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, but I pick up mostly Blu-rays from them. So I would say that in this day and age, I'm buying more Blu-rays than DVDs. But Kino Lorber has been a big part of my collecting life for the last couple of years. I usually take part in every sale that comes up, and a lot of them are blind buys. Some are things that I've seen before, and mostly I'm very happy with what I pick up, even if I've never seen them before. So I've expanded my experience and my knowledge quite a bit through Kino and also through Arrow Video. I have a nice collection of Arrow Video packages, which are really cool. They put out a very good product, and so I don't do Big Lots anymore because Big Lots doesn't seem to have as good a selection as they did 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was finding a lot of very interesting a lot of classic things at Big Lots. And Dollar Tree seems to have dried up. Um, I don't find that much good stuff at Dollar Tree anymore. So still go to flea markets, and once in a while I find something, well, the holy grail that you didn't know you were looking for. Uh, blind buys here and there. I do blind buys at Barnes and Noble, and most of the ones I buy at Barnes and Noble, well, I also pick up my Arrow Video and Criterion's there. So, but they don't sell Kino Lorber. But the blind buys that I usually get at Barnes and Noble are more recent films, and I would say most of the time I'm happy with what I get. I try to keep in touch with newer films that are coming out by picking them up at Barnes and Noble, but I rarely go to the theater anymore. I think the last time I went out to see a movie, I think it was way back in the spring. It was The Sound of Freedom, which great film. I think it's probably controversial for a lot of people for the subject matter and some of the people that are involved in it. But I thought it was a very well made film and very moving. So my collecting life is still going on, and I still have the enthusiasm for it that I did before. I have not yet made the big leap to 4K. I don't see any reason to do that right now. Someday, perhaps, we'll see. But I still have the first flat screen TV that I ever had. I still have the same one. 8 years I've had it. Still works beautifully. Still don't have a sound system. So I'm 40-inch screen, and I'm very happy with that. So that's my home video life. As far as changes in the YouTube film community, it's expanded a lot. I mean, there are a lot more people getting involved now, and a lot of them are very young people, mostly guys, but there are more women now than there used to be too that have their own channels. So it's pretty interesting to see all these people getting excited about collecting and talking about films, and a lot of them not just the newer films and all the standard action films and all that, the franchise, but a lot of them are talking about older films and getting into silent films, classic films from the 1930s and all that. So it's very gratifying. And I sub to a lot of these people. In fact, most of these people I give them a sub as a show of support, even if I'm not terribly interested in what they focus on. A lot of guys are focusing on slasher films and action films, which really is not my thing, but I like to sub to people to give them support. And a lot of these people are monetized. They're doing it sort of a second career to make money, which is fine. That's not my thing, but more power to them. I'm getting inspired by a lot of these people. I can give you a long list of channels for you to subscribe to, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are already hanging around YouTube, so you probably already know these people. So, what else? What else? Oh, okay. So now we're supposed to do favorite film, worst film, all that sort of thing. My favorite movie, I would say, it's still The Night of the Hunter, but I would say now I would make that a tie with Casablanca and Vertigo. Okay, they've moved up in my estimation even more than before. So we'll say those top three. Favorite director, I would still say John Cassavetes, although I like John Cassavetes a lot more as an actor than I do as a director. But I really like him for everything that he does. I also like directors like I have more of an appreciation of Roger Corman and especially his Edgar Allan Poe horror movie series. I appreciate those more every time I see them. And I also like a director from the Golden Age named Frank Borzage, who is somebody that I've just been recently discovering, and mainly because of other people on YouTube who talk about him. I also like Anthony Mann. I like, let's see, well, I guess that's enough. Enough of directors. There are a lot of great directors out there. Um, favorite actor. Favorite actor is still, I would say, my overall favorite actor for all time is still Robert Mitchum. But now I would make a tie between Mitchum and Bogart, whom I have come to appreciate even more in the last couple of years. My favorite modern day actor, somebody who's still working, still breathing, is Ethan Hawke, which I've talked about before. I like him a lot. He's not really young anymore because I know he's past 50, but to me he's young. And I can't think of any other young actors that I'm that enthusiastic about, really. So, actress, Barbara Steele is still number one, but I also, she's very closely followed by some of the Golden Age actresses like Bette Davis, Joan Crawford, Greta Garbo, Ginger Rogers, really a lot of wonderful actresses that I like to follow. And people who are a little bit younger, uh, Tuesday Weld, Natalie Wood. I read a book about Natalie Wood last year, an autobiography, well, a biography, and ended up buying a big stack of her films because I wanted to get more in touch with what she did, especially as a child. And I'm very impressed by Natalie Wood, not only as a human being but as an actress. And I may do a focus video on her eventually. And as far as modern actresses, the only name that popped into my head is Amy Adams. I like her in everything that I've seen her do. She's really a chameleon who is different in every role she plays. But I couldn't come up with any other current names. I'm very much out of touch with modern cinema, and I admit that. So, favorite genre, I would say, is film noir, and that's kind of a collecting focus that I have right now because there's so much more noir out there that I haven't discovered yet. Also, let's see, comfort film. I have millions of them. Certainly my teen angst films, but I also the one film that over the years that I have gone to more and more for just having background noise and being relaxed is The Bat, starring Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead from 1959. Also, All About Eve is a big comfort film. Black Sunday, if you can be comfortable watching Barbara Steele be executed, that's a comfort film for me. So, let's see, best movie ever made. Nah, that's really tough. I would still go with my personal favorites. I mean, I also love films like Citizen Kane and so many others, but that's a difficult question to answer because I always find myself giving my personal favorites. The worst film ever made, that's easy. I have two. One is Babylon. I don't know if you guys have seen Babylon, but I did go see that at the theater and absolutely despised it. Although it did have some good moments. It just had way too much of everything. And it was, yeah. And a film that I picked up recently as a blind buy at Barnes & Noble, Asteroid City from Wes Anderson, which I've already talked about on Facebook. I've already given that away to a friend. And yeah, just a bad movie. So I kind of regret spending that money. And I guess that's all I have to say here. Could go on with a lot of worst movies, but Mother by Darren Aronofsky. I made a video about that a couple of years ago. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Okay, that's enough. I look forward to seeing what everybody else has to say, and I'll try to keep the channel going and make this a big success. We'll have 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Sure, we will.